All right, I want to say the Olsen twins. Don't ask me why I want to say that, but it's the Olzack guys and Rob and Greg, the company from California. And we're here at my cousin Gary Pratt's house, his lovely wife Debbie. They're all getting ready to gather later tonight. I've got to go off to another assignment. And of course, my Aunt Joanne celebrating that big 9-0 birthday this weekend in Canonsburg. So the crew is back for the annual summer reunion family visit. But I want to go back in time, and I want to talk about this van. And I guess we could do this in memory of Brian Wilson, who recently passed away, because they really were the original Beach Boys from California. I know, folks, I make it all work. Talk about that trip, and what made you decide to do that?
Okay, now, well, first of all, I have to say that we are related to the Pratts, because our mother, Lorraine Pratt, was part of this whole thing. Your dad's sister.
I was going to get to all that, but you're right.
Okay, well, all right. And Rob and I, and again, we got two Rob Pratts here. Right here and here. So history is in the making. So we're in good shape here. But Rob, talk to me.
Talk about that trip. What made you guys decide to actually want to do that in 1960? What was it, 4?
No, 70.
70.
1970. We originally wanted to go to Europe on a tour, and turns out that we didn't have enough money to go. So my mom said, "Why don't you sell your motorcycle, Rob, and then you'll have enough money." Because she hated my motorcycle. I loved it, but I thought that's a good idea. So what I did is I sold my bike. Greg, he's the guy that always had the money. He bought a van from a friend of ours, and it was a 1962 Ford Econoline van. Sort of was fixed up on the inside, had a platform. We had a mattress made for it.
Big tin can.
It was a big tin can, basically, and so we decided, well, if we can't go to Europe, then my mom suggested, so why don't you just take a trip across the United States? And I thought, that's a great idea. So Greg and I talked about it, and a couple of months later, we took off in June. I don't remember the exact date.
We headed to come see the Pratt family. We stopped up in Missouri to see all the other Pratts.
The Roots,
yes.
Peterson family, the Pratts, the
Yes.
farm, the whole.
Yes. Yeah.
So was there an actual farm there that they lived on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still working it, as far as we know.
How large of a farm was it? Do you even know?
I remember it was cut down over the years, but I think when they had it, when we were there, it was about 40 to 60 acres.
Well, let me tie this whole thing together to give you an idea why I'm always promoting manufacturing and those jobs like Nippon U.S. Steel. Been all over that, talking about this big economic boom with energy and what they did at Carnegie Mellon with Senator McCormick. The president was there, and obviously our governor. So there's a place in Missouri called St. Joseph, Missouri, and for you football fans, if you're a Kansas City Chief fan, it happens to be where they train, but it's more important to me because of the history and the lead mines and all of that. So what happened was this company, St. Joe Lead / Zinc, Horsehead, whatever you want to call it, came here along the banks of the Ohio, where the other Rob, as in Moses, saved by the water, Pratt, came from Missouri and worked it and actually helped build that plant that my dad, Gary, Debbie, Gary's father, my godfather worked, his brother Bernie worked, my cousin Joe Mort's worked, and it's why I pushed this cracker plant for so long, because it basically has given that tract of land new life. So that's how all of it really transpired. And I actually have the hammer that my grandfather used at St. Joe, where he actually welded his initial, and I have his retirement penknife that I was actually using earlier today, and that's why I said 1964, because that's when you guys came back for his funeral when he passed away. Earliest memories, obviously 64 when he passed away. What do you remember, you two, meeting your cousins really up close and personal for the first time?
Well, in 58 we came back to the 50th anniversary.
Okay.
And so we got to see everybody then. But we came back previous to that on the train, and were able to see us. We saw each other as kids, as teenagers, as adults, and now as, I hate to use the phrase, senior citizens. But we've had a long journey here, and we couldn't have better cousins.
Have you ever thought it would have been like, Rob, if you'd have grown up here? Big difference, culture shock.
I thought about it. A lot, because I was telling excuse me, Gary earlier, was that I was a little jealous because they had a grandma and a grandpa and cousins all over the place. We had nobody, no relatives whatsoever. And the only reason we ended up in California was because my dad didn't want to work in those steel mills like your relatives did. So my mom and dad, on their honeymoon, drove out to California and stayed there. And that was, that's the end of that story. But Yeah, it was interesting. But I tell you, when we first met these guys, all of our cousins, it was weird. We became immediate friends. I felt, it was like it's like we knew them all of our lives.
There's that connection.
And yeah, and we just got along with all of them. We just loved them.
Now, your dad, obviously, I didn't know that well, but your mom, obviously, much love. All of my aunts, obviously, and his dad, Gary, my godfather, funniest man on the planet, 11 kids. When I went there, it was like summer vacation. It never felt crowded. It was just a lot of love, and I'd do anything to go to that way back machine to sit there at the dinner table one more time.
Yeah.
But talk about your mom a little bit. She literally was a beauty queen. She was absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. But your mom just had such a style about her.
Well, our cousin Gary says that people would still come up to him and said, "Oh, I remember Lorraine Pratt. She was the best looking gal."
Happened to me all the time.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's not my mom, but my mom was pretty. But no, you mean Lorraine? Yeah, Lorraine.
Yeah. And then our sister Jocelyn, who was right
Spin
there.
around and
Come on, Jocelyn, get in here.
Oh.
Let her come in.
Okay.
This is how
Step
pretty
right in
she
front of the
is.
camera.
Oh God.
Don't fall.
Yeah.
They got Modelo and a few other alcoholic
Falls.
beverages here.
Yeah,
They're
so we take
okay.
any Pratt Falls. That's the
Yeah, it's okay. So go ahead.
So, we were blessed to have a name that we could identify with in this city or this little town. It was 2,500 miles away from us, so we had some bearing, even though we were in secret town.
So Jocelyn, growing up with this crew, your mom, just talk to me a little bit.
Oh gosh, my mom. She was a very strong woman.
Oh yeah.
She was a very strong woman. She was very independent. She loved her family.
Speak up just a little.
Oh, she loved her family a lot.
Right.
She loved her Rochester family, so much. She missed them terribly. I think she would have done anything really to be able to come back more often, obviously, and maybe even to move back. I mean, her connection was so tight with everyone, obviously. She was, gosh, I don't even know where to
She was
begin.
she was very classy. I mean, I think back, she just always was together. At least it was for me.
Yes.
My
she's-
perspective.
Yes. She always had it together. She was, not that she was vain, but she really wanted to be proper all the time. She wanted to make sure that she looked right. She loved that kind of stuff.
Right.
And she was very hard working.
Exactly. Her work ethic was incredible. Incredible. There was nothing that she couldn't do. Right. There was nothing that she couldn't do if she was, if something happened to where, okay, I gotta stop this job and I gotta start another one, which is a whole other bunch of stories,
Right.
And she didn't have any experience in that job. It didn't matter.
She did it.
Just did it. She just
Or she learned how to
or
do
she
it.
learned how to do it. Exactly. So, I don't know. I mean, I think she instilled a lot of her work ethic to us. I mean, she definitely passed it on to us. I really believe. Obviously, the boys.
You
for
think
sure.
you think because we're getting older, obviously, as you mentioned a few moments ago, senior citizens, that we think about them more often. Listen, every time I drive by what was once my Aunt Frankie's house,
Yeah.
I think about my grandfather dying and we went swimming.
Yeah.
And we were all, and I couldn't believe how big my family was. And I saw it all the time when I visited my godparents, my Uncle Miz and my Aunt Mary, who I absolutely adored. But I think about them a lot. And as I said just moments ago, my cousin Bernie, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't think about.
Yeah, I think for me, I think of everybody at different times.
Right.
Even though I'm not here, I don't know, they just pop up into my head. And I don't know why. I guess it's just a kind of a spiritual connection or something.
It's
like that.
family.
Yeah, it's family. Even though we're not here a lot, it's just a connection that I feel. It's really, special.
Yeah, listen, your roots are always going to be here, but pretty cool growing up in California. So where actually did you grow up in California?
Central California, which a lot of people aren't aware of because they think of San Francisco and north, LA on top. We're smack dab in the middle of the central San Joaquin Valley.
Okay.
And we're basically 2.5 hours from San Francisco, down in the agricultural area.
And a town called Atwater.
Atwater, which is close to Merced, which is close to Modesto, which is close to Fresno, and Sacramento.
All I can say is, hey, family's everything, and hang on to them dearly because time stands still for no one. But you know what's amazing? because of their beautiful mother. My son Robbie named after my dad, my daughter Eva named after my mother. And when somebody passes, you worry that you're not going to be able to, connect with them again. And I remember I said to my mother one time, I said, what am I going to do when you die? And she pointed to my kids who were like lying in the bed with us. And you know what really happens? You become your parents, and there's a way that you look to your children as though your parents looked when you were younger growing up. So it really is just a continuous cycle. They're gone, but they're not really gone. Like I see your mom, you know what I mean? So there's something about those pictures that stay with us in our subconscious forever. Well, have fun this weekend. I guess I'll see you at Aunt Joanne's on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We'll be
Yeah.
there.
Let's talk about Aunt Joanne just a little bit.
Yeah, please.
How she's the matriarch of the family.
The last one left. 14 years younger than your mother.
Yes.
And she turns 90, I think, correct?
Yes.
And she still looks better than I do. There's something wrong with this picture.
She and Uncle Dick, to my mind, are like the classic Rochester folks. Everybody in the world knew them because of their participation, as I understand it, with whether she was teaching in the swim or Uncle Dick was either coaching them or refereeing. They were just.
Well, let me tell you how much I loved Uncle Dick and Aunt Joanne. Aunt Joanne, connection to Rochester, a teacher there. I still do a lot of freebies for Rochester because of her, but Joe Namath, who's kind of a friend, we're getting ready to open this Larry Bruno Foundation, this little place in Beaver Falls, and I've been doing all this social media stuff. The museum actually opens a week from tomorrow. And the real reason I do it, not so much for Joe or Larry Bruno, who I love, but Uncle Dick. He loved Beaver Falls. And we tell me these great stories. And, he was a great athlete. His son, his daughter, Patty and Dickie. This is one big, perfect pot of sauce.
Yeah.
All right. That's for you.
Apparently.
All right. Listen, I'm out of here. Much more this next couple of days back on the radio. But again, hey, you have time. Make sure you make it for your family. It's your Pratte Pack. Have a great summer, everybody.